Alright, so in this video for Year 12 HSC PDHPE option 4 improving performance, we are looking at the dot point planning a training year, otherwise known as periodization. On the left hand side of the syllabus, we're going to go through 5 dashes, including the phases of competition being pre, in and off season. We're going to look at sub-phases, macro and microcycles and what they are, peaking, tapering, and sports-specific sub-phases, such as looking at the fitness components and the skill requirements. And on the right-hand side of the syllabus, we're going to develop and justify a periodization chart of the fitness and skill-specific requirements for a particular sport. Let's do it. All right, so the first dash is looking at our phases of competition. So this is going to be broken up into 3. Each phase, however, should be pre-planned out in advance to ensure optimal preparation and performance of the athletes, okay? Failure to plan is planning to fail. You've probably all heard that before. It definitely applies to athletes, okay? If a coach is simply sitting down on a week-by-week basis and planning out the next week, that's not really going to be as effective as having an overall arcing plan that covers the whole year based around the phases of competition and then breaking down each week later on, which we'll get to in the next bit. So our 3 phases are pre-season, in-season and off-season. And here's the main points about pre-season training, okay? So pre-season training lasts about 6 to 12 weeks prior to the season starting, okay? So if I was like an NRL player and I am going to play my first official game in March, so 6 to 12 weeks prior to that first official week of opening season would be my pre-season training, all right? It's characterized by high volume training, so that means like lots of training, with a moderate intensity, so it doesn't cause excess fatigue, all right? It does not cause excess fatigue. We're going to mainly focus on total body fitness, and when we say that, we're looking at more about health-related components of fitness, muscular strength, muscular endurance, cardiorespiratory endurance, those types of things. Training like that would therefore look like the majority of your training block, such as this. Doing, aerobic work, doing strength work. Types of aerobic training, if you forget, such includes continuous training, aerobic intervals, or with strength training, we could be using some resistance training, such as free fixed weights, or we could be doing circuits, all right? But we're mainly focusing on those components of fitness that we're going to develop in our pre-season, all right? With the idea that you're going to hit the season being fit enough, so you can actually last a match, all right? So if I was an NRL player, I should be able to start my season, and I can run around for 80 minutes and I don't get tired anymore. Whereas maybe at the start of pre-season, I probably can't do that. So to facilitate this, our training sessions are going to be longer, okay, to help develop our cardiorespiratory endurance, but also mental fortitude, okay? You're going to remember the mind plays a lot when it comes to skills and tactics in sports, and if your mind isn't trained well enough, then when you go into the season, it may not be up to scratch. And then towards the season start, so as these 6 or 12 weeks go on, you will start to integrate skill and tactic work over time so that when you start the in-season, you're not just starting with no skills at all, but we're not going to also start pre-season by focusing on skills either. So it's going to be more like, if we're going to block it up like this, so our first little block here will be mainly fitness, all right? And then it'll be another block, and it'll be mostly fitness and some skill. And then towards the start of the season, we may go 50-50 fitness and skills. All right, so over time, we're gradually introducing more skills training to then start our in-season training block here, which is what we'll get to now. All right. So now we're looking at our in-season training. So the competition season has now started from game 1 all the way through to the finals. All right, this is the type of training we'll be doing. So the first objective of in-season training is to maintain any fitness that has been gained from pre-season. So we don't want to just stop all our fitness work because the principle of reversibility will kick in and you will lose that stuff, okay? So don't forget your principles of training. But now that we're in season, we're going to do enough fitness work just to maintain what we've got. And then we're going to develop our skill-related fitness relevant to our sport or our position in that sport, okay? So if you're like an NRL player, you have very different fitness requirements, whether you're a prop or a winger, for example. Same as the skills that you require. We're going to focus on skill and tactics for the majority of our sessions. Once again, relevant to our sport or relevant to this position that we play within that sport, and hence the principle of specificity really plays a big role for our in-season training. So pre-season training, it's just general fitness stuff. Everybody does the same. Now that we're in season, everyone on the field, like if you're looking at an NRL team, everyone on the field basically has different skills that they need to practice. And an NRL team will have very different skills they need to practice in season as opposed to like a hockey team, for example. So training volume, so the amount of training that you do will decrease. So you're not going to do as long as sessions, and in total you're not going to do as many hours of training. However, the intensity for those sessions will increase. So we're going to make them harder sessions, more focused sessions, but shorter sessions. Basically to mimic competition demands. So pre-season training sessions may be 2-3 hours long, okay, or longer. Most sports don't run that long, all right? Training in season is going to be short and sharp, 45 minutes, an hour, because most of the time that's going to mimic most sports that are played, and if not even shorter, depending on what sport or what type of athlete you are. So shorter sessions, and I mentioned in the previous video, maybe twice a day, all right? So you're gonna have short, sharp sessions, could be twice a day. The good thing about that is there is easy recovery because the volume of training doesn't build up so much cumulative fatigue. So shorter training sessions don't build up lots of cumulative fatigue, so you can easily recover so that when you get to comp day, say on the weekend, you're ready to play, all right? You're not feeling tired or sore or whatever. You're going to do lots of practice via game-like situations or competition-like situations to perfect your skill execution and implement tactical plays. And this is the best time to do it in our in-season training, so then you can immediately apply that for your competition on the weekend or whenever you play. So that's in-season training. So our last phase of competition is our post-season training, all right? So post-season training is going to focus on complete physical and mental recovery. At the end of, like, you think about if you're a professional athlete, you've just trained for a whole pre-season, then you've trained for in-season, you've gone through finals and all the ups and downs and all that. Therefore, you are probably going to be very, very burnt out. You probably hate your sport. You probably hate your weekly regime at the moment, at the end of it all. So post-season is time to recharge. We reset, all right? The goal, therefore, is to hit the next pre-season keen and ready to go hard again, all right? If an athlete has a successful post-season, they're actually starting to look forward to day one of pre-season training again, all right? An unsuccessful postseason would therefore be characterized by the athlete being tired and fatigued and not wanting to go back to their sport when that day comes. So to complete postseason training effectively, the first thing we're going to do is have 1 week of total rest, right? Just give everything up for a week. Go watch some Netflix, go on a holiday. It doesn't matter what you're doing, don't train. And then after that week, we're going to do what we can to provide active recovery for the body, all right? So we do want to try and maintain some fitness over that time, so therefore the next pre-season isn't as intensive. So to do this, we're going to train twice, maybe 3 times a week, low volume training, low intensity, just to try and maintain something, okay? We don't want to experience complete reversibility, all right? Remember, I'll write that up again. All right, so we're trying to avoid all reversibility, but it's okay to experience some, all right? Because we do need to kick back. So we can engage in recreational activities, so for fun, all right? To maintain some fitness gains, and those activities that we do may not actually be related to our chosen sport. So for example, a gold medal swimmer may go and play some touch footy, all right? They may not enter the pool at all in, the off season or post season, all right? They may just do a whole bunch of other stuff, touch footy, beach volleyball, bowling, whatever they want to do, okay? They may go running, cycling, it doesn't matter. But they're going to do some stuff that is going to hopefully keep some cardiorespiratory endurance while still being active and not being burnt out from the pool. And athletes should try and engage in activities that have some sort of lateral skill transfer. So remember, lateral skill transfer is transferring skills across sports of similar nature. So a swimmer, for example, may end up playing like Thursday night water polo comp for fun with his mates, all right? So they're still getting in the pool, they're still doing some swimming, but instead of looking down in a line and just going swim, 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 they're just like swimming around for fun and throwing a ball and having a laugh. So that's post-season training, and they were your 3 phases of competition.